Welcome back to my channel. I decided to call this one Batman versus Superman. So in one of my other videos, I cast a Superman emblem and it came out pretty good. So this is the emblem right here. It came out really smooth. All I did was pretty much do a little steel wool on it and a buffing wheel, and it actually came out this shiny and really smooth. So I'm really happy with that. To get this, I used this little attachment here. So this was cast in the sand with the part. The taper on this reduces the air coming in with the aluminum. So you'd pour the aluminum up here in the flask, and the aluminum would come down here and then travel past the part. The part would be, let's say this is the pattern. Here would be the pattern. It'd go past the pattern and into the spin trap. And that's so any debris or anything in the path, the aluminum would push into the spin trap and of course trap. And then it also, the surge of aluminum initially coming in there will go past your part and then eventually fill your part up with more of an even flow, so you get a nice fill on your pattern or your cavity that your pattern left. So this time I decided to do a Batman, so we can call this one Batman versus Superman. This is my Batman pattern. It's a little smaller than the Superman, and we're going to be able to use a different flask. So here's a little metal flask. A lot of jewelers use it because you can make pendants and rings and things in it, and it's a lot smaller. And it's not as complicated either. I don't have a little tapered piece to counteract the Venturi effect and keep bubbles coming into my aluminum as it's being poured. This one here, you go ahead and put your pattern in, and you go ahead and clamp it shut, and you're going to pour in through the top, and then you're just going to have one channel that comes behind your pattern or your cavity that your pattern left to fill up your mold and make your part. So we're going to try this. I don't think it's going to turn out as well because I don't have vents. I won't have as good as vents in it. And again, I won't have that nice even flow of aluminum. It'll just be dumped in. But the work to get this pattern set up in the cast, in the flask, will be a lot less. So we'll see if this is doing something like this is worth it as compared to doing a more intricate casting with the 3D pattern and a larger casting flask that takes more time to pack and more sand. So let's go ahead and try it out.
Here I'm just testing the part with baby powder. It works fine. I'm using a corner of a pillowcase that holds the baby powder in there. So far I found out that is far superior compared to just trying to shake it out of the baby powder bottle. These black dots that you see are used sand from the previous project that I did. I didn't mull it well, but I didn't care because I used new sand for the facing sand on the part, so those shouldn't impact any of the casting. This is where I'm cutting the channel for the aluminum to flow into the Batman logo. It's going to flow through the back side of it. It makes it a lot easier just to put it upside down on my mill and then mill that off. So that's why I normally put it on the back. I'm still putting air holes in it like I normally do for my other castings. The aluminum tends to cool and plug them, So I'm not too concerned about flow, just having it flow out the back. So in this section, I created a problem. This time I decided to put my camera out of the sun and put it into the shade. But unfortunately, I wasn't thinking about where I placed my camera when I was casting and melting the metal. And I ended up getting a lot of backside shots. And eventually my shirt came up, and I guess you could call it plumber's crack, but in this case it was probably caster's crack. And so I decided not to show any of that on YouTube or even try and cover it up. I just went ahead and cut the clips accordingly and saved everybody the horrors of looking at my backside. If you like my videos, don't forget to subscribe. That way you'll be notified when I post new content. I put the C-clamps to hold the aluminum plates up towards the edges of the flask. I felt if I put it in the middle and compressed it, the aluminum would bow a little bit and cause damage to the cavity, so when the aluminum went in, I'd get it a deformed part. Looking at where the air vents are, it looked like the air went ahead and went out of it, and not very much metal went through it. So I think from now on, I'll probably still put vents in there like that, being that the aluminum cools off in them and doesn't just pour out the side.
So here is the result for the Batman versus Superman casting. So here is the Batman casting that I did. I did that in the flask. It was more like a vertical pour. You know, the flask was set straight up and down, and then the aluminum was poured in. So it was more like a vertical pour into the cavity than the other casting of the Superman. So here's the Superman, and you can see how clean that one is. That came out really good. And again, here's the Batman. If you haven't seen my Superman video, so you can see how I made the Superman, go ahead and click over and watch that one, and that'll give you a better idea of why I did these two different videos. Even though the Batman didn't turn out as great, I still think it turned out really well, and I think the speed as to which I could pack the mold matters to me. It doesn't take me 20 minutes to pack a mold to make a smaller logo or a smaller part or whatnot than it does to use the larger casting flask. So I'm pretty happy with the results. If you want to leave your opinion, which one was better, or maybe which process you thought was more efficient or better, go ahead and write that in the comments section. If you liked my video, definitely give it a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Helps me out build my channel, and it encourages me to make more videos. So thanks a lot, and thanks for watching my video.